Chris, we're seeing anxiety over Edo poll as police vow to descend on troublemakers. You know, everywhere is kind of heightened.
Wow. It's clear terms that the Edo election is a war. If you are doing or working on the internet, you will see what they call search engine. There are taglines you watch out for. Since we started talking about Edo politics, we've been hearing war. So if you go into the internet and type war, Edo elections will jump out. Is it not an anathema? It's an error. Charles and Belinda, please do a simple mathematics of the number of security personnel devoted to one single election in Edo State. The guy then said the people, the politics, and the power and their godfather at war part. So another war. So when I was, I've been shouting from this place for the last 3 months that the federal government and the people of Nigeria will see clear incident of violence and war coming up. They egg it on. Is it worth it that the people of Edo State, just because they want to transit to another governor, no matter how you want to do it, is it that the people, the actors, will come out boldly and tell the world that they are leading an operation, war operation? I'm sure if they devote all these efforts, the one they do election, to fighting insecurity in Nigeria, we won't be where we are. So they're simply fighting themselves just because they want to benefit. Who is this war they are declaring in Edo going to benefit? A single man who would be the governor, probably with a spare tire, vice deputy governor. Meanwhile, Edo people have broken the record to be a first state in Nigeria where you have 2 deputy governors along the line there going to the polls. But on a very frank note, I think what is happening in Edo State is condemnable. We should use Edo State as a case study to tell Nigerians that we have not gotten it right. We have not. If at any time, we have 36 states. At any time we have election in 36 states of Nigeria, we have what is happening in Edo. Now you want, if you, as a man, go to carve your teeth with $100 million, how much will you get when you laugh or you smile? What we are spending to organize is an isolated election in Edo on security alone. Not to talk about lives we are losing, property destroyed, is tension, palpitation, people, nothing is working. The economy is affected. The people who are even ordinary citizens cannot move safely without fear of stray bullets. And you now say we are a nation that the people will look at and have mercy on us. This is what kind of impression we give the world to come and invest. Tomorrow somebody will start shouting, come and invest in Edo. You invest in Edo, when Edo will do election or any state in Nigeria, you will move. Only invest and be watching election deadlines. Once the election timetable is out, you will divest to another nation or another state. Is that what they're telling the world? Nigeria, in clear, simple terms, has laid a very bad foundation, and the way the world sees us, it's sad. That you go out and say you're from Nigeria, they will turn around and say, they will use their eyes to talk to each other and say, give this person gap. It's not supposed to be where we are. Because a Nigerian can spring out surprises, just like the governments of Nigeria spring surprises. Everything in Nigeria springs surprises every day, and we take it as normal. God bless Edo people. As they go out amid tension, that's what the headline said. And then the godfathers are fighting. And the 2 elephants or the 100 elephants of godfathers in Edo fighting at the detriment of Edo people. Look at, and we predicted it. Watch out what's going to happen. Voters are part, because it's only a tree that we hear that will be cut down and it still stands there. A human being will make a move. You just imagine the number of Edo people who in this orchestrated, parade of violence promoted that will come out and say he's going to the poll to vote. Unless the person either he has juju or he has bulletproof helmet and chest, all those kind of defense. Otherwise, and then remember we said they created this environment to favor themselves. Because when the environment is not normal, only the wicked and the strong people survives.
You see why I doubt the amount of security personnel deployed by the police when they announced 35,000. I mean,
the civil defense has deployed.
No, but I'm just going somewhere.
And 6,433.
Enugu State local government elections is tomorrow, and the police deployed 4,100. And Enugu State has 17 local government areas. Edo State has 18 local government areas, just one better than Enugu. And the police is telling me that they're deploying 35,000.
Well, is now our words between the IGP that is deploying the police and the Edo people. And look at it this way. With the Godfathers are coming out in numbers, don't be surprised that one Godfather we have over 100 platoon of policemen. Just go on the street of and see how they move. So even the 35,000 they say they've deployed. Just imagine the portion that they will deploy to the Godfathers who are beating the chest of war and the drums of war everywhere and going. So that's still the same thing. Then we do this in overheat the polity and corner the place to defend them. And ordinary people will go in the street to risk their life to vote for these devilish and satanic people. It's an error. If I am in Edo State, I will not go anywhere to vote. I'm not telling Edo people not to go and vote. If you can't go and vote, but with this, allow them to vote themselves and take up and do whatever they want to do. Since they're beating the drum of war and expect me to go and use ordinary people of Edo to go and use their heads to break coconut for them to go and eat. God forbid. The sooner Nigerians begin to realize this, and people we call, you see, when Nigerians are saying they are going to the street or hunger and hardship, there are different areas Nigerians can register their protest. When I was a student at University of Benin, we did what we called passive resistance with Alele Williams of blessed memory, the strong woman. The students, they said, we won't go anywhere out of this campus and will not destroy anything. We took off control, locked the doors. The lecturers were sacked and we occupied our campus. This campus was meant for the students. Each time the student will say, something is happening, they will say, the registrar will go to the radio and announce, University of Benin is closed down for a number of days, and then everybody will start standing, start pleading to come back to university. And who owns the university? The student at that particular point did what we call passive resistance. It was led by Ogaga Ifuwodu, a very strong activist then who were in school, and many other ones, I can't remember their name. It was a history. So Nigerians, people will stake out their need to go and do it. If it's not safe for us, we won't come out to vote. You go and elect yourselves. They're still using Nigerians, and it is sad. Right. What will you gain? The worst for those who are interested. 5 cups of rice. 1 useless Akara material that won't last 2 days, they give to the women. And they will do this for another years. And they will use the word of my lecturer in the university. So you students think we are sex workers. You come back when you need us to use us. Is it not those politicians, when they all these hula balo, when will we see them again? In another 4 years. What activities happening in Edo State have been happening for the last 4 years, then were there, the people were there. Everybody is putting interest in Edo, coming and visiting. Edo would have been different. They only return after every 4 years to kill people. With a even though they use their sacrifice to end and get back to the positions. And they will say, it happened, it keep happening and Nigerians are submitting themselves to this. It's me that said, me and my people, like Joshua told the people of, he said, me and my people have decided what we do. You can take your decisions. Because nobody will charge me of treason and treasonable felony when I said I will not vote. I have the right to sit at home when it's not safe. You don't just declare everything looks unsafe.
Don't you think it's going to be more dangerous if you didn't come out?
No. What has not been is even more dangerous when you go and vote and it doesn't count. I'm not saying I'm promoting voter support. I'm saying that even at that, when people have realized they need to make move, they're not allowed. Telling you that they didn't even want you to come out to vote. And they will put every condition in place to make you not to vote. So they are talking from both sides of their mouth. If they want people to go and vote, that 5,000 soldiers and policemen or whatever they send there, the number of police, security defense you have called the civil defense, should be going to homes, guiding people to go and vote and take them back home. Who are they defending? It's an error. All this number of securities in Edo State, go and you see ordinary person in Edo State coming out alone on his or her own. OYO. It is an error. If it's not changed in Nigeria, let them, what is happening in the past keep happening in the recent present, and they will keep going there, carry the ballot box, thumbprint for themselves, keep going into power, snatch it, run with it, kill people, come back and make decisions, and we will watch it. But
right.
one day, everybody has, everything in life has its own remote and limit. So that's all I would say.
It's unfortunate, really, that we haven't really learned a thing or two regarding elections in Nigeria. Every now and then, since 1999 up until this moment, we keep preaching about, less concern as it relates to violence in our elections. I mean, we're not the only country that have off-cycle elections. We're not the only country that have elections that elect people to lead us. But every year, every time there's an election, there's this thing about, insecurity. There's this thing about violence. Why haven't we moved from that to something better? It seems to be something that is, we have spoken so much about it, and even the more you speak about it, the worse it is.
And I'm saying, we are asking for solution. When all the solution that is decent, that's within the limits of all things pure and holy, is rejected, you now ask yourself, whose monopoly it is to kill Nigerians and get away and get into power? So it's left for Nigerians to find an alternative. The Igbo proverb says, it's only the yam of a stupid man that is used to make a snake pepper soup. Jionyi beribe, keja alammiri oko agbo. Now, it strikes. So if the people, the masses of Nigeria, have refused, even the 90% of the blame that we come here blaming the Nigerians, if you are 210 million or whatever number you are, you have 98% of this blame. Nigerians they deserve what they're getting. If Nigerians, they say power to the people, the politicians are using it, they don't even know the meaning. If the people realize the power belongs to them, this mess will change overnight. With all this harassment, but if me and you, we just sit down and said, this, enough is enough. We can find a way of doing it. Like I said, passive resistance, we tried one time. If I have opportunity, I will do it again. But I'm doing it as a personal thing. It's my own opinion. Right. When it is not safe for me to go out to vote in any election, I stay back home. Let the worst happen. Because it has happened so many times. And that's my opinion.
October is around the corner. Nigeria celebrates another anniversary, 1st of October, but there is something more that is coming in October.
How many years will it be in October? Let's first talk about that. How many days?
Before we talk about
how many years will Nigeria be? Is it 70 or 69? 69 or 70? Okay, before, let's talk about that celebration coming.
I'm talking about the Fearless October that is coming.
Oh.
A British envoy have said that the October protest may have international influence. Do you fear that October protest might have turned into something chaotic?
The people who are speaking about Fearless October know what they have planned. And for a British envoy to have said something commented about it, during the last hardship, hunger, and bad governance hashtag, there was this issue of Russian flag appearing in certain place of Nigeria, that they made an industry of the mass producing the flag were noticed somewhere, and some Nigerians are being held. They went for the street for protest hunger and hardship, and they said treason, and the world is watching. A lot of people have commented, if you are following that development, that calling Nigeria too, and the people we heard of Shole, who is speaking about the fearless at October and said it must come, whatever intimidation. He appeared. It was a reported news that he was arrested. The next 5 minutes, he said his passport has been given back to him, has been released. Then the question is, and I keep saying, Nigerians have heard about fearless October, and we are devoting all security apparatus to go and conduct a day election. And October is about a week and few days. They are not coming out. Of course, they are not supposed to tell us anyway, but I'm not sure that the security apparatus of Nigeria are taking it. It won't be surprised all these predictions will still come true. Nigeria has a way of fulfilling the book. We always behave the way we predicted we will. We cannot disappoint bookmakers. Because this thing the envoy is saying, don't be surprised, Nigeria will play to religiously and fulfill it. No, it's a country where we see the rain is coming. They will be drinking beer and pepper soup until they are drenched. And they give a big budget of how to fight the rain that was predicted days. They are talking about Lado Dam in Cameroon being opened.
Release,
Are they saying relocate? You'll be imagining. If they have come out with clear plans of what the damage will be and to the extent, you will still see the property Nigeria will lose, the lives that will lose, and the devastation to our economy it will do. Nothing on the ground. Nothing. Everybody is looking for a Edo election where everybody will go there. All the big men are there to deliver Edo State. Nobody is asking the questions about the lives. Look at the flood in what came to my mind this morning about the one in Maduka. If the flash flood in Maduka has caused this devastation, what will happen when you add to Lado Dam release? That means Edo will be the days of Noah, will be in certain parts of Nigeria already affected by flood. And it is not that it's an accident. These states and locations in Nigeria where this flood effect has been known. I had the opportunity of living in Lokoja, and I visited the National Inland Waterway, the beaches of River Niger. These Oyibos are wonderful. They built what they called, that time there was no computer to measure, they built what they called a physical way of measuring how the rivers are rising every year. It was the beach of River Niger in Lokoja that I saw the highest level River Niger has risen in the history of River Niger, for one. And it has been abandoned that way. Nobody has started following and recording new rise. I've lived in Lokoja at a point one time when the local Abuja road they were using canoe and the boats, flying boats to cross. The big men sent their flying boats, they were crossing them across to go back to their Abuja heaven. But we that were locked on the other side couldn't go anywhere. It blocked the whole of Lokoja. Every house, 3-story building were submerged in certain areas. That will tell you the height. Nobody recorded it. And it was Lado Dam released at that time. It was not mixed up with local flash floods. So you can imagine, with what flooding situation we have in Nigeria and the Lado Dam release, and we are still talking about Edo politics where we spend all budgets to send millions of security people that will pay allowances to go and do one simple local governorship election. So a country that did not prioritize the life of its citizens is a country we expect me to go and die for. That's why you have less patriotism in Nigeria, because you can't stake your head for this country and get anything out of it.
Absolutely.
They're not doing anything. when in school, they were asking us, is it in our blood that in Africa, the whole community will get somebody and sacrifice for the people to be okay? Somebody was arguing that. But in America, hold one American Marine here, they will bomb and clear the whole of the city to save their one citizen of America.
Absolutely.
Don't you see the reason? Is it not in our psychology? So when you see Americans, the superior human being going about doing what they are doing, they know who is sent them. Because any boy sent by his son to go and steal will break the door real bad with his legs. One Nayazilohi, now that's the African philosophy and proverb. But then you go here, who sent you? Now you follow, not only you call Waka call. This is the kind of thing you hear here. I've asked you this morning when they call you handsome boy, and I said, not only you carry a cup. Charles, not only you carry cup. Belinda, not only you Waka call.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
If we keep on talking about these issues, we're not going to
No,
stop
of course,
today.
we just go on talking.
So that's the much we can take on the river this morning. Thank you very much for...
The fuel hike rendered 70,000 naira.
Useless.
It's part of the issue we should take note of. And who has paid the 70,000 naira?
They haven't actually started paying,
Have they
Even
paid?
the
but there's a threat.
Have they paid?
Yeah.
They haven't started
They've
paying.
not started paying at the
But-
federal level and state level, but they are threatening the private sector that
sector.
if you don't do it, go to jail. The dream and jokes of the highest order. God bless Nigeria. Keep on joking with the lives of people, and let's see what comes out of it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chris.
Thank you,
All right,
Belinda.
and that's it for the newspaper review this morning. We'll be moving ahead to another segment. Just stay with us.